video will teach you how to add media to Hypercities. To add media, you have to first be logged in and registered on the Hypercities website. To do so, click on the upper right-hand corner where it says My Profile. Here, you can register for the very first time, or you can use your OpenID login. This allows you to use an existing email account and log into Hypercities. I highly recommend this option rather than creating a brand new email for Hypercities. If you click OpenID, you can use a pre-existing Google, Facebook, Yahoo, or AOL account. This will streamline the process. I'm going to use my Google account. When I log in, it will ask me to enter my email. And password. This will automatically log me right into Hypercities. The first time I do this, I should note, you'll be asked to fill out a registration form. Please fill out all the required fields and press OK. Once you do so, you should be logged in, and at any time you can go back to edit your profile, manage your collections, create new collections, or manage your snapshots. Snapshots are just like photographs of a given site. When you log in, you'll notice a new button appears, this plus button over on the left-hand corner. At this point, you can add media anywhere in the world to collections that you're allowed to add media to, or collections that you create. Let's go to Berlin. When I click on Berlin, I'll see a satellite imagery of the city, and I'll notice that under collections, I see my collections, featured collections, partner collections, classes, and public collections. Right now, the vast majority of collections are public. You also have your own collections here in which you can add and curate your own content. So let's say I want to add something to a collection that I create. I'll click on the plus button, and I'll notice I can add a pinpoint, a line, a polygon, or a KML file. KML files are special files created primarily using Google products like Google Earth or Google Maps that allow you to have a rich multimedia map overlaid on top of existing maps. We'll talk about KMLs in a little while. But for now, I'll just add a pinpoint. Here's a pinpoint at Gendarmenmarkt. And I'll see the very first thing that pops up here is a little form where I can add material. Depending on your screen size, the form may in fact be you'll have to move the screen slightly to see the entire thing. So I want to give it a title. Let's just call it Gendarmenmarkt. Author, we'll change that slightly. I can give it a copyright if I feel like it. And then I'll notice I have here an editor where I can add information. Here I can embed videos, maps, photographs, or any kind of text. So let's say I want to put a picture. I'll be able to upload this picture directly from my computer, or if I know the image URL, I can link directly to it. If you click this option, you actually have to click here, and it'll search your computer for the relevant JPEG file, and you can then upload it. If you know the URL, you can type it right here. When I'm done doing that, I can give the image a caption or anything else. I can also add video in much the same way by clicking the embed code here for a video. So I'm just going to go ahead and blah 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 and just type some garbage there. I can change a number of things including the text, font, the background color, and if I know HTML, I can actually edit the HTML here. Next, I need to give it a time. So we're going to say 2009 to 2010. I'm allowed actually to indicate a great degree of granularity by indicating month, dates, hours, or even minutes if I want. Finally, I need to add it to something. I can add it to a new collection, simply sticking it in my collection, or I can add it to a class collection. In this case, I want to add it to a class collection. UCLA German 2009 61A, but that's not the one I'm looking for. So I need to actually browse all the public collections and see which is the one I want. UCLA German 260, that's the one I want. So that's the collection I want to add it to. It'll automatically add to my collections as well. So I can go ahead and just click that as well and add it to 2 places at once. Under the preview, well, I didn't really do much here. I just have some text. But I press submit, and lovely, my object has been successfully loaded. So let's take a look and see where that object is. Remember, I need to actually be within the view screen to see the object. So under my collections, it says I have 2 things. Aha! I have a class that I joined, and I have that object I just added, Gendarmen marked. If I click it on, it should appear. And I see exactly the object as I added it. When you see this little pinpoint over here, you can always edit the object at any point. If you edit the object, it'll bring up the same exact editor that you just had, and you'll go through the same steps and resubmit the file. You can also add lines, polygons, or KML files. KML files are basically maps that I've created using a KML editor, such as Google Maps. To do so, let's say I go to Google My Maps. I'll need to sign in. And here I'll click on My Maps, and what I'll see is I have a number of maps that have either been created by others, or in my case, if I've never created any maps, I'll create a new map. Here's a map that's been shared by me. This particular map, very simple, just consists of a line, a pinpoint, and some information bubbles in which I added some material. This is called a KML file. I can make it much more elaborate by adding additional features, embedding photos, and routes. To add this file into Hypercities, what I need to do is go to View in Google Earth and right-click. It's important you copy the link location. This link location is not the same thing as the URL, so if you copy the URL from the top, it won't work. The link location is what allows you to embed this file directly within Hypercities. So copy link location. Now I'm going to go ahead back to Hypercities. In this case, I'm adding a KML file. A similar form comes up. We'll call this Todd Decision Moments. Add the author. I'll put the KML URL here, which is the link location that we copied. Go ahead onto the time. We'll give this 2000 to 2009. I'll add it to, in this case, let's just add it to my collection because this is a private map that I don't necessarily want to share with anybody. I press the preview and I don't see anything. In the case of a KML, this is correct because the file hasn't actually added yet. And the other thing is, I'm adding this file while I'm in Berlin, but I know that this is actually a map of LA. So, it says it's an import success, and so I want to see the file. Well, when I go under My Collections here, I see that I now have 3 objects. But I'm in Berlin, so the file that I just added, which is a map of LA, is only going to actually show up in LA. It won't show up in Berlin. So I need to go over there. Let's go find the location where this file actually lives. Here I am in LA. I'm going to have to zoom out a little bit. And let's see if my file will come into view. Ah, there it is, Todd Decision Moments. Let's turn it on, and there's the KML file that I just added. Again, I can edit this file. I can change anything about it, including the description, at any point that I want. That's how to add media to Hypercities. Thanks.